But some of the things I like, I saw I didn't like. And what I will say is, as great as Ant is as a basketball player, there's still some growth for him as well. Because as a leader, I would not have walked down there and shook their hand. I would not have walked down there and shook their hand with 8 minutes left in the game. As a leader of my troops and my guys, I would not show that weakness.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. This one is a real conversation starter. So that was Udonis Haslem, and he was on the NBA Prime Annal alongside Taylor Rooks, Steve Nash, Blake Griffin, and Dirk Nowitzki. And they were breaking down Ant's decision to dap up the Spurs before the game was even fully finished. Like, we're talking early fourth quarter energy, around 8 or 9 minutes still left on the clock. And none of the old school guys on that panel were rocking with it at all. They were clearly not feeling that move. I'm gonna roll the clip of what they said, and then we're coming right back to break down Anthony Edwards' response to all of those questions.
So we're gonna unpack some of the things that Ant said there, but here is the moment where he said he was just giving them the respect they deserve. 8 minutes were left in the game. Your reactions to this moment?
I've watched the NBA and been a part of it for a long, long time. I've never seen this. A guy walking into the huddle with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and dapping up the entire team. Too much for me. Obviously, you can do that after the game and show plenty of respect. That was a little strange for me.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. I've never seen that before. I mean, I do like what he said, that he wants to give him respect, but I think you wait and you have to take your licks at the end of the game like everybody else. I do want to say, I mean, he was definitely hobbled. Minnesota definitely hobbled. With DiVincenzo out, Io didn't look like he was full strength either, and they played hard. It was a valiant effort, but he was right. San Antonio was just a better team.
Yeah. Now, you had a reaction there to what he said at the end about needing to build a team that has championship habits, playoff habits. I didn't get to hear the question he was asked, but what were you thinking when you heard that?
Well, you would think that they would have that by now. You would think that they would have that. They've been to the Western Conference Finals. You would think over the years that they built that. I understand. I think this is Julius Randle's second year, but you would think that a team that has been there, they would have those habits. So the fact that they don't have those habits is very disappointing to me. Because once you get here, and I say this all the time, the playoffs has a way of revealing what's inside you. And I didn't like what I saw from some of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Ant was definitely hobbled. DiVincenzo was out. But some of the things I like, I saw I didn't like. And what I will say is, as great as Ant is as a basketball player, there's still some growth for him as well. Because as a leader, I would not have walked down there and shook their hand. I would not have walked down there and shook their hand with 8 minutes left in the game. As a leader of my troops and my guys, I would not show that weakness. The game is not over. I got 8 minutes left. I still got smoke coming out of my ears because I'm so damn mad we losing. Let me calm down for those 8 minutes since I'm not in, and then after those 8 minutes, I'll go down there and I'll congratulate them and their coaching staff. But in the middle of the game, when I got guys that have sat the bench and cheered me on, no, I'm gonna sit there and cheer those guys on. I'm gonna put that energy back into those guys, and then when the game's over, I'll go over there and shake their hands. So that's just the way I handle things. I'm a little bit different. I'm a little bit old school. I understand there's a different generation, but I don't think if they were beating San Antonio, Wemby would have went down there and shook his hand with 8 minutes left. I don't think so. I damn sure know Wemby wouldn't have went down there and shook his hand.
I don't even know if that's old school.
So for me, I love Ant-Man as a basketball player. I love where he's going to be as a basketball player, but as a leader, the next few steps he needs to make are little small details and things like that, because other people on your team and those guys are always watching you and they're following you whether you know it or not.
And to Udonis Haslem's point, it looks like, the Minnesota Timberwolves tight-knit group might actually be starting to crack at the seams, as it was reported by Wolves Lead that Julius Randle was the only Timberwolves rotation player who didn't take part in the player exit interviews, and the reason behind it is still unclear. So it wasn't because he wasn't available or anything like that. He just straight up did not participate in the exit interviews whatsoever. And now you've got Naz Reid actually calling out Julius Randle, saying he's been a little too moody at times, and that's one of the things they've got to clean up, just not being so moody as a group.
Seasons, you just know Golden City in the conference finals is the San Antonio, the top two teams in the conference this year, the teams that have knocked you out. What do you see the gap to be there between you guys and them, and what is it that you need to add, whether it's in approach or style or personnel, to be able to be competing with them and eventually beat them?
Probably just moodiness. You look at both of those teams, and
they're playing for one another. They're excited to be on the court with one another. They're a team where they're selfless, like I mentioned before. So I think just probably just some of those aspects. I think we have more than enough talent. I think we have more than enough guys bringing it to the table and compete at a high level. But just being less moody. I think that's just the name of the game for us. Just being less moody and more selfless, and just carrying ourselves with championship aspirations like we've done before. Just having that as a cherry on top.
So, I mean, there you are. It's like the whole moodiness thing. You know what I'm saying? And from the outside looking in, that criticism really only seems to be pointing in one direction, toward Julius Randle. And let's be real, he did not play well, like at all. To me, that kind of situation starts at the top, and that's where Anthony Edwards comes in as your leader, because you're watching this and thinking, did the leadership group really step in there or not? Likewise, I'm not saying Anthony Edwards didn't do anything, but I genuinely want to know if he ever went to Julius, checked on him, tried to lift him, or even got him easier looks early just to get him going, especially when things started going sideways in that series. And now I'm going to play a clip of what Anthony Edwards had to say about what this team needs moving forward.
You said, what do you think this team as it is right now can compete with the San Antonio Spurs and Oklahoma City Thunder? Do you feel like you need another star next to you? Yeah, I feel like we would. Yeah.
Against some of these top competition?
We just gotta listen to the coaches. Yeah, we had a hard time with like processing stuff and going out there and doing it. We try to do stuff on our own. I think that's our problem.
Do you feel like the regular season's the time to start building that stuff?
Yeah, I feel like you're supposed to build championship habits or playoff habits in the regular season. Yeah, great question. I think so. Yeah.
Just a follow-up to that, do you not feel like you have?
Do I feel like what?
That you have built the habits during the regular season?
No, we didn't build the habits during the regular season, no.
And I mean, circling back to what Udonis Haslem said, you think those habits would already be locked in at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't a situation where you're still figuring out how to win in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And you've already made it to the Western Conference Finals. They fell to the Dallas Mavericks with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, who ended up making the finals. But you've also taken down the Denver Nuggets twice, a former championship team themselves. What are you really missing here? So now it starts to look like a question of leadership on the floor, and that's your guy, Anthony Edwards, your best player. Or maybe it's the coaching staff. Like, what are they actually communicating out there? After a while, the Minnesota Timberwolves are gonna have to make a real decision because they keep coming up short. We've made a Western Conference Finals, and we've also made a couple of, deep runs. We made a couple of semifinals. So what's gonna take them to that next level? So naturally, you've got to start thinking about something like that. Like, okay, maybe you give the group another year to grow and mesh together, but I don't know, man. Let me know what you guys think. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I'm gonna holla at you next time. Peace.